Hey, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to your ultimate destination for all things Dallas Cowboys. From the latest news, game analyses, rumors, to deep dives into player performances and strategies, we've got you covered. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a play. Let's dive into everything you need to know about America's team. The buzz around the league right now is louder than a stadium packed on a playoff Sunday. And if the whispers turn out to be true, the NFL might have just entered an entirely new chapter of defensive dominance. The Dallas Cowboys, a team always in the spotlight for their star power, their tradition, and their relentless pursuit of glory, are rumored to have pulled off one of the most jaw-dropping moves of the decade. The word is out that Aaron Donald, yes, the Aaron Donald, has agreed to suit up in navy, silver, and white. This is the kind of story that feels almost too wild to be real. Yet the pieces appear to line up in such a way that it feels less like fantasy and more like inevitability. For years, Cowboys fans have dreamed of assembling a defense that could match the swagger of the team's history, and now, with this move, it seems like the dream has been granted a bold, aggressive, and terrifying reality. If Donald indeed joins forces with Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, and DeMarcus Lawrence, the Cowboy Wall 2.0 may not just be a nickname, but the league's next nightmare scenario. When you step back and think about what Aaron Donald brings, it's not just the sacks, the pressures, or the highlights that dominate social media clips every Sunday. What he truly offers is a gravitational pull that changes the way offenses approach every single snap. Quarterbacks know the second they see him across the line that their pocket is going to collapse faster than a sandcastle in the tide. Offensive coordinators spend sleepless nights drawing up plans, sliding protections, keeping tight ends in a chip, and still, despite all that, the man finds a way to wreck games. Now imagine him inserted into a Dallas defense already ranked among the top units in the league, a defense that thrives on chaos, speed, and opportunism. Micah Parsons can rush, freely knowing Donald is drawing double teams. Trayvon Diggs can gamble on picks, knowing the quarterback won't have time to wait for routes to develop. It's like adding rocket fuel to a fire that was already burning bright. And if this move is confirmed, the Cowboys may have just tilted the balance of power in the NFC for years to come. Cowboys fans, who are no strangers to hype trains that sometimes derail, are almost afraid to believe it. The social media timelines are exploding with memes, mock-ups, and unfiltered excitement, while rivals are quietly panicking behind the scenes. One can almost hear the NFC East rivals groaning at the thought of facing Donald twice a year in the Lone Star State. The Eagles, Giants, and Commanders have their own battles to fight, but no amount of preparation can make the prospect of facing Donald in a star helmet any less intimidating. This isn't just about adding a great player. This is about altering the psychological balance of the division. The Cowboys, often criticized for relying too heavily on offensive fireworks, are now threatening to redefine themselves as a defensive juggernaut. And for fans who remember the great defensive fronts of Cowboys history, the doomsday defense of the 70s, the ferocious lines of the 90s, this signing feels like destiny calling once again. They don't just want to win games. They want to dominate, to suffocate, and to remind the world that in Dallas, stars are born, but legends are built through relentless defense. The speculation of a Cowboy Wall 2.0 isn't just catchy branding. It's a reflection of a defensive core that could rival any in modern memory. Micah Parsons has already cemented himself as one of the most dynamic defenders of this generation, and pairing his versatility with Aaron Donald's unstoppable interior presence could be the kind of combination that keeps opposing coordinators awake for months. It's not just about one star or two. It's about the synergy, the way complementary talents amplify each other's strengths. Think about Lawrence now able to hunt from the edge with even more freedom, or linebackers shooting gaps without hesitation because they know the interior is sealed. Suddenly, an already elite defense transforms into something historic, and the Cowboys aren't just contenders. They're enforcers. Add in the atmosphere of AT&T Stadium, with fans roaring under that massive video board, and you get the perfect storm. A defense that feeds off the energy, a fan base that thrives on intimidation, and a legacy hungry for another Super Bowl run. This is more than a signing. It's a declaration of war, and the rest of the league better be listening. But here's where the intrigue deepens. How exactly did the Cowboys manage to pull this off? Aaron Donald has been the face of the Rams defense for nearly a decade, the cornerstone of a Super Bowl champion, and a player often linked exclusively to Los Angeles. Yet the rumors suggest that the Cowboys front office made a pitch too compelling to refuse, blending the allure of America's team with the promise of chasing one more ring in a new city. Dallas has never been shy about bold moves, whether in the draft, free agency, or even in the spotlight of national headlines. This potential deal carries the fingerprints of a franchise willing to do whatever it takes to return to the pinnacle. Donald himself, always hungry for competition, may see this as his last great chapter, a chance to etch his name not just as an all-time Ram, but as a legend who lifted a second iconic franchise into championship relevance. And for the Cowboys, the price, whatever it was, will feel like a bargain if it ends with a Lombardi trophy raised high under confetti. Skeptics, of course, will point to the risks. Donald is not a rookie anymore, and while he remains a force of nature, age and mileage eventually come for everyone. There's also the financial balancing act, as the Cowboys already juggle massive contracts for Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons. Can they really afford another megastar without crippling their cap flexibility? And will Donald's dominance translate seamlessly into Dan Quinn's defensive schemes, or will adjustments be needed to unlock his full potential in Dallas colors? These questions aren't small, but they are overshadowed by the sheer spectacle of the idea. Because, let's be honest, sometimes the excitement itself changes the narrative. Opponents, fans, and even neutral viewers are already imagining the havoc, already bracing themselves for highlight reels that feel like nightmares for offensive lines. And even if the move carries long-term risks, the short-term payoff might be too electrifying to ignore. If Donald hits the field in a Cowboys uniform, the league may just have to rewrite its expectations, because defenses like this don't come around often, and when they do, they leave scars in their wake. The conversation now isn't just about the Cowboys making headlines. It's about the ripple effect this rumored move could create across the NFL. When a player like Aaron Donald shifts teams, it doesn't simply strengthen one roster. It forces 31 other franchises to rethink their strategies. Suddenly, offensive linemen across the league are checking schedules, circling that Dallas matchup with dread, and coaches are rewriting protection packages months in advance. Even teams not directly in the Cowboys' path start reconsidering whether they have the depth and toughness to withstand a defense of this magnitude. That's the power of generational talent combined with the media machine of America's team. It feels like a chessboard where Dallas just moved their queen into the heart of the action, daring opponents to counter. And the truth is, very few have the pieces to respond. The excitement in Dallas is mirrored by anxiety everywhere else, because in a league of parity, when one team stacks the deck like this, the balance tilts sharply. If Donald in a star helmet becomes reality, the NFL may look different overnight, reshaping playoff predictions, MVP races, and maybe even the destiny of the Lombardi Trophy itself. The fans, of course, are the heartbeat of this rumor, fueling the fire with their own blend of hope and imagination. Cowboys Nation has always been known for its passion, sometimes criticized for being over the top. But in moments like this, that energy becomes electric. Social media is overflowing with custom edits, photoshops of Donald crushing quarterbacks in Cowboys colors, and threads debating how many sacks this unit could realistically tally in a season. The word historic gets thrown around a lot in sports discourse, but the possibility of Donald and Parsons hunting side by side makes it feel almost accurate. Imagine AT&T Stadium rocking louder than ever, with every defensive stop feeling like a championship moment. Fans are daring to dream again, talking openly about Super Bowl parades down the streets of Dallas, banners raised to the rafters, and a defense finally returning to the mythic status of the Doomsday Era. Whether this rumor proves true or not, the fan response has already turned it into a cultural moment, showing how the Cowboys continue to dominate not just the field, but the entire conversation surrounding the sport. And let's not forget the narrative appeal, because the NFL is as much about stories as it is about stats. Aaron Donald leaving Los Angeles for Dallas would be cinematic in every sense. The Rams, who once celebrated him as their cornerstone, would watch him walk into another powerhouse and instantly become the centerpiece again. The league thrives on rivalries, on storylines that capture attention, and this one would be tailor-made for primetime television. Imagine the drama of Donald returning to LA in a Cowboys uniform, the split emotions in the stands, the endless commentary from analysts about loyalty, legacy, and ambition. For Dallas, this isn't just about football. It's about owning the headlines, cementing their place at the center of the NFL narrative where they've always thrived. Donald's personal story of relentless dominance, combined with the Cowboys' thirst for another championship, creates a perfect storm of intrigue. The NFL doesn't need to script this. The rumor itself writes the drama. If it materializes, every broadcaster, every sports show, every podcast will build weeks of content around it because it's the kind of move that transcends sports and becomes part of the culture. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The locker room dynamics also make this rumor fascinating. How would veterans like DeMarcus Lawrence react to sharing the defensive spotlight with another Hall of Fame caliber presence? How would younger stars like Parsons balance their own rise to superstardom with the arrival of someone who has already defined greatness? The answer, many believe, lies in synergy rather than conflict. Donald has always been respected for his work ethic and his humility despite his dominance, while Parsons has proven to be both a competitor and a sponge for knowledge. If anything, the mentorship possibilities alone could redefine the trajectory of Dallas' young defense, shaping them into disciplined monsters for years ahead. The culture in Dallas, already one of accountability under Dan Quinn, could be elevated further by the example Donald sets day after day in practice. For players who've idolized him growing up, having him in the same locker room would be surreal, motivating, and unifying. That's why insiders whisper this wouldn't just be a talent addition. It would be a cultural shift, embedding championship habits into a team desperate to turn potential into rings. Financial analysts within the league are also buzzing about the economics of it all. How does Dallas, a franchise with big money contracts scattered across both sides of the ball, fit Aaron Donald into the puzzle without blowing up their future flexibility? The reality is that Jerry Jones has never shied away from bold cap gymnastics, finding ways to push money down the line, restructure deals, and bet on the present over the future. The Cowboys are built on spectacle and winning now, and this move would embody that philosophy perfectly. Of course, critics argue this could create long-term headaches, pointing to examples of teams that loaded up on superstars only to collapse under financial strain later. But supporters counter that if Donald helps deliver a Super Bowl within the next 2 seasons, no one will care about the consequences 5 years from now. That's the gamble of greatness, mortgaging tomorrow for glory today. And in a league where windows of opportunity slam shut quickly, this rumored move fits the aggressive mindset of a front office that wants to seize destiny while the core of Prescott, Lamb, and Parsons is still intact. At the end of the day, rumors like this remind us why sports captivate us. It's not just the games themselves, it's the what-ifs, the possibilities, the stories that could unfold. The idea of Aaron Donald donning the Cowboys taps into every emotion: excitement, fear, disbelief, and hope. It forces us to imagine a defense so suffocating that offenses tremble before the opening kickoff. It sparks debate about legacy, about whether Donald could elevate himself into conversations reserved only for the greatest offenders of all time. It creates anticipation, not just among Cowboys fans, but among anyone who loves the theater of the NFL. Maybe it's true, maybe it's exaggerated, but the buzz is undeniable. If it comes to life, the Cowboys won't just have assembled a defense. They'll have created a spectacle, a phenomenon, something that demands attention every Sunday. And if it fades as just another rumor, it will still linger as one of those tantalizing, what could have been stories, proving once again that in football, the line between reality and dream is often blurred by the passion of the fans and the endless hunger for glory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.